Okay, students, welcome to the next part of the Python lesson. So in this lesson we're going to take a look at the variables. Okay, we're going to learn about the variables. So let me quickly explain you what is a variable and why do we use variables. Okay, we all know that if you take the computer's memory, just like the humans, computer also has memory. When programs run, programs are set of instructions which are created using programming language. I have already told you. So it's a set of instructions like that which are created using a computer programming language. These instructions will be staying, or these instructions are there inside the computer's memory. So just having instructions like if you want to display something on the screen, or if you want to input something from the screen, those kind of commands only will not help you do big programs. So when you want to do more programming work, when you want to do serious programs, or you want to create a little bit advanced programs, then you need to make use of the programming language features. So the first thing that we are learning after the comments is going to be something called variables. Variables are simply, they are memory locations. It is a place in the computer's memory where the computer uses, or your program uses, to store a value. Okay, and that location inside the computer's memory will be identified. Okay, you will be having an identifier. Let's call this place as x, and the x variable or x location has the value 7. Basically it is a memory location which is used to store a value, and the stored value can be changed when the program is functioning, which means when the program is working, the value can be changed. Okay, right. Apart from that, where is it? Now I need to explain you how you can do this part, right? So basic part is that, and I'm going to create, without further delay, I'm going to start creating the program, and I'm going to execute the program and explain along with that. Okay, right. Now when we go to the program here, first of all let me create a program here. I'm going to call this one as chapter 1 underscore variables dot py. Py stands for Python, right? So that's the extension, and we are here. We can start typing the codes, right? Okay, so I will be using comments like that, so it will be easy for you to understand. So I'm going to type the notes for you as well. A little bit of a note I will be adding inside the Python script, because end of today's class I can share the files with you as well. So when I give you the files, if you open and check the files will have the necessary details for you. Okay, so what is a variable? Okay, so let me not waste time on that. Okay, okay, basically this is what a variable is. Let me change that for you. Right, so what is a variable? Okay, a memory location used to store a value, and the stored value can be changed during the execution of the program. So that's what it is called a variable is. Okay, so don't worry, you'll be getting a PDF note as well on this. Right, so so what sort of names that we can use for a variable? Because as I told you here, we took something called what do you call, we took something called variable called x, right? And you know, this is not going to be a very meaningful name, because when you create very lengthy programs, when we create large programs, your data items where you are using values or variables, they have to mean something very much meaningful. That means they have to give a very clear idea what this value is stored for and what it used to do things, right? So for that reason we can make use of that. So I'm going to create something like this, right? I'm going to do something like this. Let's say I want to store someone's salary, I want to store someone's age, I want to store someone's address. Okay, so rather than giving names like for someone's salary S, someone's age A, someone's address again AD. These are again variable names, but they are not quite good because they are very short and they are not very meaningful. Okay, so instead, if I give these memory locations a proper name, for example, let's say I want to store someone's salary, I can name it like this. Okay, and let's say I want to store someone's age, right? I can type it like this. And let's say I want to have someone's address, I can have like this. Okay, inside this one we can have the values. Now let's do that with Python and see how we can achieve that. Okay, first of all, we need to use we need to know what are the naming conventions. Okay, right. So um, right, so what sort of naming conventions do we have? Conventions means good practices, right? It's a kind of rules, right? Okay, first of all that we need to understand, they are case sensitive. Okay, that means variables are case sensitive, which means uh, if you try to create something like this, let's say you create a variable like age and you store the value, let's say 25. Okay, so this is your first line of code, right? So today you are learning age and you put a equal sign and you put the value 25. This means store 25 in a memory location called age, and automatically computer will decide what type of a data it is. It is actually numeric type, number type. Okay, right. So what I meant by uh, case sensitive variables are case sensitive. So if you try to print something like that, now you can see VS Code is giving an underline, say it is a error. It is, you can see when I put once I put the mouse pointer over that, it is saying age is not defined. Okay, right. So let's save this project, right click, and let's try to run this and see what it says. Once I hit this, we will be able to see that error message. It says same thing, right? So it says trace back. I'll find down here, name error, name, age is not defined, did you mean age? Okay, so it's giving a suggestion as well. Okay, so that's a good example. Things are case sensitive. Case sensitive means if you define it capital symbols, you have to use it as it is. Now for example, if the age is defined like that, then there is no errors, there is no problem. Okay, but if you define it like that and if you want to display it like this, it will not work for you. Okay, right. I like to put everything in simple letters like this. Now if you when you want to run this, just right click, go to Python, run Python, and choose run Python file in terminal. When we do that, right, so you can see the output comes as 25 here. Okay, right. You can do certain label printing. I will be teaching that one later when I teach you strings. Okay, let's say my age is, you can print like this also. Now if I run this, let's save that, Control S, then when you do this, it prints that value with the label my name is, and the value also getting printed. Okay, so one thing we learnt, they are case sensitive. You just give a name of a variable and use equal sign, then you put a value, right? Right, so we'll see one more rule there. Whether any variable name can start with a number. Okay, so they can't start with a number. Okay, right, so they can't start with a number, or in other words a digit. Right, so the example I'm trying here will not work. Let's assume I want to create something called the first number. So you can type first number, right? So this is totally valid. Let's say the first number is 55. There is no errors now, right? And if you want, I can print this one. Let's say first number is, I put a comma here and I can give the variable name first number. Even if I run this one, it will give me the output. See, 55 is coming. First number is 55 coming. Now let's do one more thing. Now because this is, I'm not going to change this part, right? I'll show you the error part. Let's say you want to create something like first number. Let's say let's type number 1 st num. First number, assign the value 100. Now there is a problem here, so let's try this one and let's compile that, and you can see there's an error. It says syntax error. Okay, there is a syntax error, invalid decimal literal, so you can't do this one. This is wrong. Okay, so I can keep this one commented like that. That is wrong. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, so if you really want, you can uncomment and see, right? Okay, so that is how you can create variables. Then there's one more thing. There's one more thing I want to tell, right? You can see in Python you will be learning, you can see there is a word coming called print. These are built-in words. Okay, these are built-in words. Just like that, in Python you have more words like this. You have words like if, you have words like while. Okay, then you have for, else. We have words like this. We call these things as keywords. We can never use these things as variables as well. This is also not going to work, right? So that is also you need to remember. Okay, so say don't use keywords such as if, else, while, for. These kind of words we can't use because they are they are keywords. All right. Okay, students, let's continue that lesson. Right, the next part we're going to talk here is going to be how we can assign a value to a variable. Now actually students, at this part I was explaining you what is a variable, how to create a variable. I told you, right, what are the valid names. Valid names means what are the legal names, accepted names, right? Now what we will do next is, what we're going to learn next is how we can assign the values, right? So assign values to variables. My source code will also be very easy for you to read and understand from top to bottom. It is also kind of notes that you're going to have. End of my class I will be sharing the PDF document I showed you. Now I have created this one for you. Today here itself I will share it to you. Okay, right. Now what I will do is I'm going to show you now here when you write this one, when you write the code, now if you write something like this, I will delete this part, the whole thing. Watch this. Let's assume we create something like we already have age, so we'll type price, assign the value 1500. Then we'll type QTY. QTY stands for quantity, is assigned the value 5, or let's say 4, quantity 4. Now let's assume these are two Python instructions that we have typed in the source code. Right, so we are typing the source code here. Now what we do is in the computer's memory, when the computer is executing this first line, what it does is, first of all, it will reserve the computer's memory, so that it will reserve the computer's memory like this, and it will identify this location as price. So hereafter anybody uses this word price, everything in simple, computer will come to this location looking for the value, right? So inside this you can have the value, whatever the value that the variable should have. Now this is what it does. So this 1500 gets stored in the variable price. In other words, in the location price, this value 1500 getting stored. So that is what is happening by this writing this code in. Okay, right. So the next line of code will create another variable inside the computer's memory. So it's going to create another variable inside the computer's memory that will be called, or that place will be identified as qty. And you can see it is, we are asking the computer, okay, you should store value 4 in here. So it will store value 4 here. So this is how the computer is going to do the work for you. It is going to allocate the computer's memory, and whatever the value that you have given, it's going to get stored there. So this assignment operator, what I'm using here, is called the assignment operator. This particular symbol does that. Assigning the value from right side to the left side is done by this particular operator, which is the assignment operator. That's what it does. Okay, right. Okay, so let's try this one and see the variables that I created. Now we code that and see. I'm going to type price, and I will leave a space, and I'll type equal sign, and you can type the price whatever you want. So don't put semicolons. In this Python programming language, we don't use semicolons. The next line, I can type qty, which is short form for quantity. Assign the value, let's type 4. So when you run this one inside the computer's memory, there are two variables getting created. One is called price and the other one is called quantity. So shortly we call it as qty. And if you want, next now you can see line number 19, we create a variable called quantity, short form is qty, and we have stored the value 4. And if you wish to display that, or if you wish to access that value in line number 21, all you want to do is you need to just give the name, right? So I'm going to put a label, say quantity is, and you type the name of the variable, which is qty. That's all you have to give, right? Just the name of the variable is enough to refer to that particular value, right? Now when I run this one, you should be able to see the label quantity is, and it should print the value 4 next to that. There seemed to be an error in the program. I'm sorry, I put a comma like in Java. I should put a comma there, not a plus sign. So you can see the final part, which you can see quantity is 4. Okay, quantity is 4. 1 second, I increase the font size so you can see the output command now very clearly. Right, okay, fine. Let's continue the lesson again. Okay, now you can see we have just put a label quantity is and put a comma, and I just mentioned the name of the variable, and it displays the value what it holds there. So if I run this one, you will see the output as quantity is 4. It doesn't say quantity is qty. So that can happen if you type like this. Now we have written a double quote here and a finishing double quote here. Inside the double quotes, you have used the what do you call, how do you say that, the variable name. This is not going to work. See what's going to happen. See the output. See, same thing printing. So it doesn't print the value here. In order to avoid that, we have to stop the double quotes here and put a comma. So this is the whatever you put inside double quotations, it will be printed as it is, and we put a comma to join with that label this particular value. This variable's value will be displayed, right? Okay, so let's see how we can print the price then. So we say print, and we say price is, and we put a comma, and we have to give price. Okay, so let's save this one and let's run that and see. There we go, the price is also getting displayed. Okay, so that's the basic idea how you can assign the values. All right, assign the values, right? So equal sign is the sign which we used to take the value from the right side and put it to the left side. Okay, right side to the left side, the assignment operator we use. So we saw an example here two examples, right? So if you wish, I can store someone's name as well. Let's say name is assign the value, let's say Stephen, right? So we put the name as Stephen. So that's also possible. Okay, when it comes to text values, you can either use double quotations or even you can use single quotations. Python is accepting both of those types of values. And if you wish to display the name of the person, you can say print. Here also I can use single quotes, and then I can say name of the person is comma name. Okay, right, now let's save that one and let's test the program and see. Right click, run Python, and you can see name of the person is Stephen. Okay, it displays the value like that, right? So the text values also can be used. Okay, the next one is I can teach you one more thing. You can go for true false values as well. True false means those are logical states. In upcoming lessons we will again see that. Now what I'm going to do is, let's see, we want to state something like that, is paid. Let's say is paid equals sign, we'll say true, like this. So this is a special value, true false, yes no, like. So we can print that and see, print have you got the salary. So comma we put is paid, right? Is paid. So this is paid variable is a boolean value which can either store true or false. At the moment it is holding the value true. Now when I execute the program, you can see have you got the salary, yeah, have you got the salary, then it says true. If you can change this to false, and again I can run the program, it says have you got the salary, it says false. So true or false values you can use, right? Again about the variable names, if you take a look at the variable names here, in order to join two words I can use underscores, never use spaces, because space is not allowed and you can't start with numbers and any other symbols. So the only allowed symbol is underscore, and you can use it. Actually, when you give variables, there are three types of cases we use. For example, we have something called camel case. Okay, camel case. Then you have Pascal case, and last one you have snake case. Which means, now camel case means when you create a variable, you start it with simple letters, and if you have more than one word coming, you can continue those words with capital letters. For example, let's say I want to type my full name, I will type full name. There you can see there are two words, second words first letter capital, right? Equal sign, let's say John Doe. That is possible. Okay, then let's say I want to create another variable, last round. Let's say, so we say last round. So we'll say what is the last round, let's say 5. We can give like that. So always it starts with a simple letter, and when another word comes and gets joined, those letters are becoming capital letters. Now assume that if we have more than two words, we put it like this, total number of students class, right? So we say total number of students. This is how you should do it. That's the better way to do that, right? Total number of students. So every word first letter is capital except for the starting one, first letter. Okay, so this is called camel case. Okay, now let's see how we can do the Pascal case, right? So let's take a look at the Pascal case. So it's pretty easy. I don't like this one anyway, Pascal case, which you will start the variable in a capital letter. Okay, you will start the letter in a capital letter. Let's say postal address. So it's a postal address. So this is we're gonna put like this. Let's say main street Colombo. So I will just put, I don't know whether there's an address like that, but main street Colombo 7 you type. But take a look at the variable's name, P capital, A capital. So here starting letter is also capital. We call this one as Pascal case. Okay, so that example is enough. And the last one is known as the snake case. As the name suggests, everything written in simple letters, and when you want to have the other words combined, you will be using an underscore. Okay, let's type something like this. Maximum underscore temperature, maximum temperature, let's say 65. So if you take a look at the variable declaration here, all the letters are in simple letters, and of course it is having two words. The second word's first letter is also simple, but you can see in between the first word and the second word we are joining that using an underscore. So that is also must. Okay, I hope you understand that, right? So that's about the snake case. Alright students, let's continue again the lesson. Cool, right? So students are giving feedback there whether they understood it in Tamil or not. That's great. Okay students, now the other part is in this lesson is let's say there's another cool thing that we can do in Python. Students, make sure that you practice this one today itself before my next class. Okay, all right. Okay, well, we do something like this. How do I put that? Right, so let's see how we can do multiple assignments. Multiple assignments in the sense it is pretty cool. We can do like this. Let's say I have 2 or 3 variables with me and I want to store them values at once. Okay, that's pretty simple. I think I don't have a variable called x or anything, right? Okay, someone's microphone is unmuted. Can you please unmute it, please? Right, please keep them muted. Right, thank you very much. We're gonna put x, and you put, and that's my variable, right? X comma y comma name comma let's say is alive. Okay, let's say is alive, equal sign, open parenthesis. You use an open parenthesis. Later there is a lesson we will be learning. Right, yes, okay, I think one student is referring to this part. That's what I'm going to explain you. X comma y comma name comma is alive. There are 4 variables. If you take a look at that, you have 4 variables. So at once I'm going to give 4 values, right? So you put a parenthesis, set of parentheses, and within this one you can start typing value. Let's say the value of x is 1, value of y is 1.25, and name, let's put a name like so let's say Kevin, and he is alive, true. So we type like that. Now down here I can print these values and you will see all of them have got the values, right? So if I say print x, print y, is a name. There is a spelling mistake. Is alive. Okay. So if I try that, if I run this program down here, you will see there you can go 1.5 Kevin true. So these values are subsequently nicely going and getting stored in the variables which are mentioned, and you have separated them by using commas, and in the same order you have given the values, so these values are getting stored in those variables. Okay students, let's continue the lesson. I explained it in Tamil and Sinhala also. Right now let's continue the lesson. Now there are one or two more parts are there. Let's continue that. The next thing I'm going to teach you, we can even do basic maths, right? So we can do basic maths with variables. For example, now we got variables like let's say A assign the value 50, B assign the value 60, or B assign the value 100. You want to find the value C assign the value A plus B, you can write. So simply 150 will be printed. You can use variables in arithmetic calculations. In operators, I will be teaching you this one further. You can use multiplication sign, division sign, addition sign. I'm using addition now, so our answer should be 150. There we go. You can see 150 is getting printed. Further, what we're going to do is we can do values can be converted to other values also. So I'm going to teach you that part. That part I will be again explaining to you. Right. So let's take something like this. That is called casting. I think in the upcoming class I can again explain you this, but no problem, I'll explain it to you. Casting. So see this one. If you want to make something into text, right? If you want to make something into specifically text, string values, so you can convert that using built-in functions. So it is like this. Now let's say x is assigned the value str open parenthesis, then you put value of x. So x should already have a value, so we'll give x is equivalent to 100. Now if you take a look at the variable type here, x is a variable, 100 is a numeric value, it's a number that is used for calculations. It is not text type, it is not text type. So we can convert that into text type, right? So in order to check what is the type there, you can check what is the type there. There is a command called type. Okay, you can just type the word type, and then within the parenthesis you can give the variable name. Okay, you can give the variable name. Now you say type x comma x. If I give, it will display string comma 100. See, it says class string, it says 100. So its type is, data type is string type. The problem is strings cannot be used for calculations. Let's try x is assigned the value x multiplied by 2. So sometimes it might work. Let's see. Automatic conversion happens means it is now there's a problem. You can see you didn't get the value as 200. You have got these two values have just got joined. Okay, if you say minus, I think let's say what's going to happen now. See, now error coming. If you take a look at this particular line, it says x is equivalent to 100. Here we say x assign the value x minus 2 means we are asking the computer to reduce 2 from 100. It is not happening, right? So what is going to happen here is, when I convert that to text value, string value, you can never do calculations. Okay, so strings are never used in calculations, right? So you will never use this one in calculations, so you can't do this, right? But if you don't do this part, now see, when I don't have that part, so when I run this, you can see it runs perfect. Okay, value have come as 98, but if I put that, that's not possible to do. So you can not only convert to string, you can convert it to something else also. Let's put something like y is assigned the value hello. No, don't put hello. We'll put 750, but inside double quotations, so you can't use that for calculation. You say y assign the value int, okay, within brackets y. So I'm asking the computer, okay, you convert this value to numeric, right? So I can say print type y and we say y, so that will do the work for you, right? Okay, so we'll run this program. So there you can see that has got converted to numeric type, so that will be really useful. Even you can convert that into float, right? After printing this one, let me convert that y to float again. Y is assigned the value someone is eating the mic. Oh, I don't know. Okay, we'll continue. So you can convert that into float also, right? So and so when I run this, you can see, so first time it is integer, second time it is float. You can see that it is getting converted. My next class I will do a small recap for you and I will continue that, right? Right, okay, right, so that's it. So let's see in the next class, right? So we will continue in the next session. Don't leave.